Good afternoon, everyone. I was so looking forward to being there with you today. Unfortunately, yesterday I was tested positive with COVID-19, and I will need to stay home for the next few days until the disease runs its course. Thanks to the vaccine, my symptoms are not much more than those of a common flu. And thanks to the technology and the quick response from the amazing organizers, we will still have the chance to do this. I haven't been to the movies since the pandemic started, but I heard that the new Bond movie is really good. Its name is No Time to Die. And if 007 himself doesn't manage to find enough time, you would think the rest of us can be excused if we're facing some time management challenges of our own. The apparent lack of time that we all feel we experience is even worse, considering that it's probably not even a real thing. If we look at the average time we spend at work, this has gone down compared to what it was 40 years ago. But our lives are much more complicated now. What is expected from us is much more than just going to work. The interactions and the energy required to perform our daily routines are much more convoluted. And that is why it always feels that we move and live at a faster pace than every previous generation. And in this environment of insufficient time, social media have taken center stage. It doesn't matter what the subject is, and if we were even remotely interested in it before. It doesn't matter who said it, and more importantly, it doesn't matter if the information is real. What matters is that it's on our screen, we can read it, listen to it, or watch it. Everyone's opinion is shaped by the information on their phones and not by the facts. Moreover, everyone can now create and add their own news story. A comment in social media is by itself a new piece of information that creates more stories and comments and so on and so forth. We find out the hard way that the digital revolution is not all good news. We are watching on a daily basis arguments happening in real time between people who tend to take extreme points of view, hiding behind the perceived safety of their mobile phones. People become accustomed to being mean and toxic and carry this behavior in everything they do. There are no lessons to be learned or people who improve through this process, since no one wins the argument and no one can ever be wrong. So what happens if we have many impatient, frustrated, unhappy people being bombarded with false information about why everything is like it is? This happens. And this. And this, closer to home. And this, during the COVID-19 lockdown, when people needed to communicate more than ever. Simplistic analysis, prefabricated conclusions, finger-pointing, easy answers to complicated questions, conspiracy theories, assigning blame to convenient targets. We always seem to be the victims. It's always someone else's fault. And through this continuous negativity, our spirit weakens, and we start to believe that nothing can be done to improve the situation, that it is what it is. We become cynical. We become blind to good qualities and good people, and we never ever fail to spot something bad, to criticize and point the finger somewhere else. And there has never been a better phrase to describe the cynicism in our society. This is Cyprus. We're not responsible about it, and most importantly, it can't be fixed. Continuous negativity stops all creativity, cultivates cynicism, and inspires destructive behavior. We have reached a point that we feel too weak to make a stand against this reality. And what do we do instead? We identify with it. We joke about it. We willingly accept it as the norm, and by accepting it, we strengthen it. By confirming it, we embrace it. By shrugging our shoulders, we become part of it. And that can't be right. We're in serious and urgent need of inspiration. In my opinion, Barack Obama is one of the most inspiring presidents of the United States in its recent history. And his speeches have always moved me, as they have moved many people. So let's listen for a minute to what Barack Obama had to say about cynicism.
But I'm here to tell you, don't get cynical. Despite all of the frustrations, America's making progress. Despite the unyielding opposition, there are families who have health insurance now who didn't have it before. And there are students in college who couldn't afford it before. And there are workers on the job who didn't have jobs before. And there are troops home with their families after serving tour after tour. Don't think that we're not making progress. So yeah, it's easy to be cynical. In fact, these days it's kind of trendy. Cynicism passes off for wisdom. But cynicism doesn't liberate a continent. Cynicism doesn't build a transcontinental railroad. Cynicism doesn't send a man to the moon. Cynicism doesn't invent the internet. Cynicism doesn't give women the right to vote. Cynicism doesn't make sure that people are treated equally, regardless of race. Cynicism's a choice, and hope is a better choice.
Don't think that we are not making progress. Hope is a better choice than cynicism. So let's bring this closer to home. Where can Cyprus find the inspiration that it needs? There was a time when we felt proud about our achievements as a country. After 1974, we rebuilt the economy from scratch. From the ruins of a divided island, we created a prosperous country based on hard work and a common vision. When did we lose sight of what we can achieve? When did we fail to see what this country can do? When did we stop believing that we can become an example for other countries to follow? And how can we make progress? Well, the first thing we should do is inform ourselves, and do it properly, not with Facebook and YouTube, with statistics and science and facts and measurements. I have a passion with numbers. My colleagues know this too well. And at Cyta, we spend a lot of time and effort to measure everything and understand exactly what is happening around us and why. So in order to understand what is and what is not Cyprus, let's look at some numbers which compare our country with the rest of Europe. In some cases, we're doing just okay. Out of 27 countries, we are 12th in GDP per capita. We're 8th lowest in unemployment, and we have the 11th highest inflation. The price of electricity is only 8th highest, not first or second. We are 9th in reported crime, 10th lowest in organic farming, and 11th both in risk of poverty and life expectancy. We are 10th in road traffic fatalities, 7th in smokers, 7th in people who leave school early, and 6th lowest in adults with basic digital skills. At the same time, we're doing pretty well in some other areas. We're 3rd in people with tertiary education, 2nd if we only look at women. And despite our lack of digital skills, we still manage to be 3rd in social media participation. We're 1st in the quality of our swimming waters, and we have the lowest number of people living in overcrowded households. But we're not doing well in many things. We have the 5th highest gross debt. We are 3rd in number of cars, and 4th lowest in women in senior management. We're 23rd in both recycling and using circular material. We're 4th from bottom in online shopping. Unsurprisingly, we're third in energy dependency from abroad. But we're also third in the people unable to keep their homes warm, and fourth highest in greenhouse gas emissions. It goes on. We're second in ammonia emissions from agriculture and last in using renewable energy in transport. We are also last in the quality of our groundwater, as we have the highest nitrate contamination in Europe. We're also first in the number of people living in poor housing conditions. As a Cypriot, I'm ashamed that we are last in the European Union in providing financial support to developing countries. Why is that? Oh, and we're also second from bottom in households with high-speed internet connection. And as the CEO of the largest telco in Cyprus, I can neither be happy or proud about that. But hope is a better choice, and action is the result of that choice. We don't have the luxury to wait. We will not resort to excuses or be cynical about it. This would be the easy way out. We need to become the change that we want to see in our country. We are not going to avoid the issue. We're going to resolve it. And if we manage to change the statistic, what stops everyone else from reversing all the other bad statistics? But it is not easy to reverse an embarrassing statistic that is the result of many years of inaction. It can, however, be broken down into 3 steps. Step 1. We can't increase the internet speeds if we don't have enough international bandwidth. Cyprus is an island, so all the internet that we are accessing through every day passes from 13 submarine cables that connect Cyprus to the rest of the world. Cyta has invested significantly in building these submarine cable systems and will continue to do so. Let me introduce you to Arsinoe, our latest and greatest submarine cable system, the contract of which was signed only in 2019 and is expected to go live in February 2022. It connects Europe to Asia, passing through Cyprus, and will significantly upgrade our international capacity and our ability to offer the people living and working in Cyprus the high-speed internet they will need. Step 2, fiber optics, a project the scale of which has never been seen before in the history of telecommunications in Cyprus. Working in parallel in all cities, we are replacing all the old copper cables with new fiber optic connections offering speeds up to 1 Gbps. The figures that show Cyprus being second to last in Europe are figures from 2 years ago. But the fiber project is already making a difference. Last year, the average fixed download speed of all Cyprus was 30.6 Mbps. Today, it is already at 50.5 Mbps, which means that the average speed has already gone up by 65% in just 1 year. You can guess what will happen as we connect more and more customers. In 2021, we have so far connected 20,000 more customers on fiber, bringing the total number to 50,000 connected customers, which represents 25% of the total. In only 1 year, we increased our connected customers by 65%. And in only 2 years from now, all 125,000 of our customers in the urban areas of Cyprus will be connected to fiber. This is a 10-year project that we are going to complete in only 3. When we started the project back in 2018, we were connecting 200 customers every month. Now, we're connecting 200 customers every day. Step 3, 5G. Ultra-fast internet at homes and businesses can not only be achieved using fixed connections. In mobile, we have moved forward despite the burning of our antennas and the vandalism of our buildings. The efforts to roll out 5G in Cyprus have continued, and the results are impressive. In August, Cyprus was 8th in the world in mobile speeds, behind only 4 extremely rich Arab countries, behind South Korea, Norway, and China. Except these 7 countries, our mobile speeds are beating everyone else. The UK, the US, Japan, you name them, we are beating them. Only 2 years ago, at this event in 2019, I spoke about how 5G would become a reality. And a reality it became. We launched 5G in January this year with 70% population coverage only 2 weeks after we got the license for the spectrum. And we have since achieved 85% population coverage. 5G can now provide the required ultra-fast connectivity all over Cyprus, allowing for people to live and work outside the cities. Using 5G, working from home and learning from home will be possible without having to move to the city. This way, more people can live and work and study in the hundreds of beautiful villages around Cyprus, increasing the property values and boosting the economy. And by end of the year, we will have reached 96% population coverage, making Cyprus the #1 country in Europe in 5G coverage. And in the first quarter of 2022, just a few months from now, another amazing achievement for Cyprus will be realized as we reach 100% population coverage. Our efforts do not go unnoticed by the global technology leaders. Just a month ago, during Apple's annual event, the company detailed how it was working with more carrier partners to bring 5G networking support to its iPhone 13 lineup. And up came a slide that showed off numerous carriers around the globe, with Cyta up there, making its presence known alongside the biggest telco companies in the world. Our hard work to certify iPhone 12 on our network in June this year paid off. And you can see here why we did it. This is the impact to 5G traffic once iPhone 12 was certified at the beginning of June. The traffic immediately jumped from less than 50 gigabytes per day to more than 1,000 gigabytes every day. I saved the best for last. Ookla is the global leader in mobile and broadband network testing applications and technology. It collects hundreds of millions of measurements about the performance and quality of networks around the world each day. And the Ookla Speed Test Awards are the most prestigious and elite designation for network operators like Cyta. They represent real-world network performance that reflects the actual customer experience. In the past, Cyta has won the best network and the fastest network in Cyprus for several years from 2017 onwards. But this year, in 2021, in the age of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, we didn't just win a Cyprus award. I'm extremely honored and proud to announce an exclusive for Digital Agenda 2021 that for the first time ever, Cyta has been certified and awarded by Ookla as the fastest mobile network in Europe. I don't think we have ever in the past led Europe in any technological benchmark. In 2021, we have done it. We received confirmation of the award only a week ago, and it was the perfect reward for all our hard work and efforts in the last 2 years to roll out 5G network despite all the resistance from the usual places, despite the arsons and the vandalism, despite the lockdowns and the restrictions of the pandemic. Our determination has prevailed. This is not only a moment of pride for Cyta, it's an achievement for our country, that the fastest network in the whole of Europe in 2021 is not in Sweden, not in Finland, not Estonia or Latvia or Germany or any other country that we so often associate with excellence in technology. The fastest mobile network in Europe in 2021 is in fact in little Cyprus. And for us, this is Cyprus. Our efforts to improve from the 26th place of households with high-speed connection are relentless and will take another year or two to bring results. And to all the cynics out there, just look at what we did in mobile, where 2 years ago we were nowhere to be seen, and now we're the European leaders. Our single-minded strategy, our positive agenda and hard work will ensure that within the next 2 years, another success story will be written. In the distant 1997, Steve Jobs had just returned to Apple after being fired from his own company 12 years earlier. Remember, this was 10 years before the iPhone, when Apple was still a computer company. Jobs was criticized by the audience about the correctness of Apple's strategy. Let's hear what he had to say in response.
And that's where Apple's got to get back to. And, you know, I'm sorry that OpenDoc's a casualty along the way, and I readily admit there are many things in life that I don't have the faintest idea what I'm talking about. So I apologize for that too. But there's a whole lot of people working super, super hard right now at Apple. You know, Avi, John, Garino, Fred, I mean, the whole team is working, burning the midnight oil, trying to, and people, you know, hundreds of people below them, to execute on some of these things, and they're doing their best. And I think that what we need to do, and some mistakes will be made, by the way. Some mistakes will be made along the way. That's good, because at least some decisions are being made along the way. And we'll find the mistakes, we'll fix them. And I think what we need to do is support that team going through this very important stage as they work their butts off. They're all getting calls, being offered 3 times as much money to go do this, do that. The valley's hot. None of them are leaving. And I think we need to support them and see them through this and write some damn good applications to support Apple out in the market. That's my own point of view. Mistakes will be made. Some people will be pissed off. Some people will not know what they're talking about. But I think it is so much better than where things were not very long ago. And I think we're going to get there.
His passion and his belief in the way forward are there for all to see. In the years that followed, Apple went on to become the largest company in the world. But what people don't realize is that it was never an easy ride. And Jobs had to face a lot of cynicism and a lot of criticism along the way. And I really want to dedicate this to the people at Cyta who believe in our strategy and vision for our company and for our country, and are working really hard, burning the midnight oil and delivering some truly amazing results. The digital future is changing as we speak. The metaverse is the new buzzword, the next big thing to come a few years from now. The evolution of the internet taken from the pages of science fiction. A concept where people with virtual reality headsets will interact inside a game-like digital world. But in order for the people in our country to become part of this future, there is a lot of work still to be done. We need the infrastructure, the networks, the connectivity, and the services to be there and to be good. That's our job, and it's not an easy one. And we will never get there by listening to the cynics. History has always been written and will continue to do so by the effort and sacrifices from honest, hardworking people who choose to make improvements and not excuses. From thousands of success stories that never reach the news headlines, from the failures that serve as valuable lessons learned. I believe that most of us here today believe in the potential of this country, believe in a positive and supportive agenda. Let's remember that we will make mistakes along the way, and let's fight back when we are faced with negativity and cynicism. For a change, let's try optimism and hope. And I promise you, we will find the inspiration that we need. Thank you very much.